Hey guys, so I thought it was time to bring you up to speed, give you a little bit of a progress report. It's been about a little over two and a half weeks since I went into the hospital. If you've seen my last video, you would have seen that I would have been mentioning at the time that I was going to be going into the hospital, or at least I thought I was. And honestly, I was postponing it. I mean, nobody wants to go in the hospital because nobody knows what results they'll find. Maybe do a blood test and find something that you don't want to know. So I was trying to avoid it as much as possible, but I was in too much pain. Like I said before, at the time, I couldn't even take a step forward. I could barely get into the washroom. I could sit down for 10 seconds. I couldn't sit in a car without excruciating pain. I wasn't getting any sleep. I mean, how am I supposed to live, right? How do you live a life? How do I make food? How do I clean the house? How do I get out of the house? Obviously I wouldn't be able to go into work. So I knew that I have to go to the hospital. So my mom and her husband came over. We called the ambulance. The ambulance came over. Kind of an interesting story with that. It took them an hour to get here, probably because they didn't think it was priority. Tried everything to try and get me to walk out because it turns out because of where I live, they just could not get a stretcher. They couldn't get up the stairs. They couldn't get it in the house even if they wanted to try because I'm right by a fence and there's no way to get a stretcher there. And the fact is I couldn't sit. So how do you get me out of the house? They tried laughing gas, which is a very weird feeling, but that didn't work. So they actually were really scratching their head for quite a bit, trying to figure out how to get me out of the house. So I have a computer chair and wheels. So they ended up grabbing a computer chair, brought me into my room, sat me down for as short as possible, took me to the front. So there they had one of their chairs. It's on wheels and then has like these handles. So they basically took me to the front of the stairs. It had to be strapped in and then basically lifted me onto the stretcher and then put me in the ambulance. Got to the hospital. Anybody who's nearby, I went to VGH. Very positive. People were very nice and friendly for the first day. Then they wanted to kick me out and they got a little rude. I'll just tell you that much. Still didn't know what to expect. Of course, I'm nervous, right? They could see that I couldn't walk, so they tried to put me on gurneys and beds as much as possible. They had a number of doctors. They had like 7 doctors in total for the 2 days that I was there. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong. Honestly, they did blood tests. They said nothing came back, anything that would cause that. Thank God. I was hoping it was not like diabetes or something to come back. Who knows? I mean, like I said, who knows? You have cancer. Who knows? I don't know. Right? So I'm nervous as it is. It was funny because me as my personality, I'm like talking to people and I'm talking to strangers, talking to patients, and it's weird. They give you weird looks. A patient goes by, I say, "Hi, how are you doing? Nice day." I'm relaxing myself, but I'm also kind of relaxing them. And doctors be looking at me like, why are you talking to a stranger? I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe you shouldn't be talking to people in there, making them feel better. I don't know. But anyways, I'm talking to people, made a couple friends in there, or at least I got to know their names. Anyways, they put me on the gurney. A couple doctors came in, gave me so many pills. Oh my God, so many pills. I must have had 7 different pills. I have a little Dixie cup and it would have like 4 pills in it. Come back an hour later. Okay, let's try and walk. Nope, 1 step. 2nd step, I was in excruciating pain. I'm like, no, I gotta go a step. I fall back on the bed. They ran tests, they did x-rays, they did a CT scan. They didn't do an MRI. I was actually quite surprised. I thought they would. Yeah, I mean, it went pretty good as far as the first day. They just couldn't find anything. That's a problem. They couldn't figure out what was causing it. They tried. They were baffled, actually. So they did do an x-ray, and it did come up with the same results as the x-ray I got before with the other doctor. It was a herniated disc of the L5S1. And as a result, it was also pinching a sciatic nerve. And so that was going down my right leg. At the time, I had that excruciating pain in my shin. Now, we've got some progress report to give you today. Things have really changed. And that's why I wanted to give you guys, kind of bring you up to speed. Near the end, I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I think they basically gave up. And they said, look, we're going to give you a shot. So they gave me just a shot. And they says, we're going to just, there's nothing more we can do. Basically, we need the beds. And that we're going to send you home. We'll get you in a taxi and we'll send you home. And I'm like, what's that going to do? So you're sending me home and I'm going to be the same predicament, stuck in bed, can't move, can't get up. And they're like, well, there's nothing we can do more, you know, that you're going to have to figure that out on your own. I'm like, it's a hospital. I was like, I didn't know what to say. And I said, you know what? I'm staying overnight. If you can't get me medication that I know for sure is going to work, that allow me to walk at least, I'm staying overnight. So that's what I did. I stayed overnight. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't even eaten anything because they wouldn't let me eat anything. So they finally brought me something to eat. And I slept the night. They left me in the gurney and they pushed me over to this area where all the other beds are. And, you know, they have like their cubicles and they're all talking amongst each other and all kinds of things, talking about their boyfriends and where they went for vacation and stuff like that, you know, really loud and everything. And oh, well, whatever. But at the point I still couldn't walk. So I was scared, right? They were telling me that the next morning they would get me into like a physiotherapy and they would help me out. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to be there for, you know, quite a few hours. They're going to do physiotherapy with me and all that kind of stuff. That's not exactly what happened. So the next morning, a doctor came up to me and he's actually the one that figured out how I can walk. Nobody else could figure anything out. And he gave me the ability to walk. Basically he had this, kind of like the old walker, the old person walker, the elderly walker. And he said, try leaning forward. I'm like, okay. So I leaned forward and he says, try and take a step. I'm like, oh my God, I can walk slowly, but I'm leaning forward. He says, yeah, that's because when you're bent over, it opens up your spine and it stops the nerve from being pinched. When you stand up straight, like what I was doing, it's pinching the nerve and then I can't stand. I was also thinking there was going to be like surgery. Right? They were also talking about that at one point. Eventually told me, no, that's not an option. That's after everything. You know, after you do the physiotherapy, after you wait 12 months for recovery and healing and stuff like that. And if it doesn't work, then that's an option. And I'm thinking, 12 weeks. And I got 12 weeks? Oh my, like, and minimum? Oh my God. So anyways, the physiotherapist came over, very nice lady. After I showed her what the doctor showed me with the canes, she says, well, you don't need that walker. You could use that with 2 canes. So I had to pay for 2 canes, only paid $10. I looked them up online. They're worth $100 each. But I got them for $10 each. It was crazy. But anyways, brand new canes. They'll show you exactly how I walk now. So guys, this is how I walk. There are 2 canes and basically I lean over top of them. I put my head straight looking down at my feet basically. And then I walk. And I have to keep my head down because the thing is when you pull your head up, it pulls on the nerve. But this was the magic trick that that doctor gave me and it works. So there you go. There you can see that how I'm able to walk now. Hopefully I'll be able to walk straight soon. So as of right now, I'm on EI, unemployment insurance. And to cope with the pain, originally I had 3 different medication. Tylenol, arthritis, 8-hour. And then I had cyclobenzaprine and then naproxen. Now, when I left that last video, I took all 3 of these. I was, as you can see, I was standing. I was fine. I was shocked. Then the next day, which was the day I went to the hospital, these didn't do anything. They did nothing. And I haven't taken them. I don't take them anymore. They don't do anything. Doctor actually admitted that it's actually a lot of times it's just almost like a placebo. They don't work. So what I'm taking now is just the Tylenol 8-hour. And this actually is what helps. So as of right now, my symptoms, I no longer have the pain in the arch of my foot. I no longer have the pain in my shin. There was like really bad pain, like I said, here. So that's not there anymore. And what I have now is basically the inner part of my knee and right underneath, you know, where you have your inner ankle. And there's almost like a sensitive part underneath. It's, if you push on it, it's sensitive, because that's apparently the nerve ends there. That's a little bit tender, so it's a little hard for me to sleep at night. I just usually put a pillow between my legs or whatever. So one of the other things that I'm having to deal with is and the nerve that goes on the inner thigh is starting to hurt. Now, just like before, everything is starting to come up, started from the bottom, comes up. When I had problems with my shin, I didn't have this on the inner thigh. I didn't have this here or the ankle down at the bottom. So, you know, it's progressively starting to heal, but it is moving up. And physiotherapists did say that as it starts to get up, it might also cause more pain, which I'm not looking forward to. I might start to get back pain, which I don't have yet. And we'll just have to see what goes on. So at that time, it does hurt quite a lot. And like I said, it's just like, it's like a pulled muscle. It feels like your muscle's being pulled, but it's not like you can, you know, flex your muscle or anything like that, because it's not a muscle. It's just kind of feels like a Charlie horse that you just can't alleviate. You just have to wait for it to end. It doesn't happen too often, but when it does hurt. As far as sitting, I can sit in a car now. They do say not to sit for more than a half hour, but what I found, and anyone who's having like back pain or something, I really, really, really recommend this cushion. So I got this on Amazon. I can't remember the price. I think it was $30 or something. And it's memory foam. And I mean, I don't even want to sit down at anything, even if I am healed, because this thing is like sitting on a cloud. It is so comfortable. So if I go on Uber, or well, I go on Uber when I'm going to physiotherapy, which I was going to mention next, is I take this with me. So like I said, highly, highly recommend this. And then also for when I'm sleeping at night, if I'm going to sleep on my back, then they say to elevate your legs up. So I bought this off of Amazon. And what it is it's basically, it's an inflatable, like a wedge. This is what it looks like. And so what you do is you put this here, you're laying with your head back this way. Your thigh basically goes up here, your legs go across, and then your foot just sticks out the back there. And it's comfortable, it's very comfortable. So as of right now, I'm doing physiotherapy. I had my first consultation just last week. Today, actually, being today's Wednesday, I just went for my actual physiotherapy for 45 minutes, and he says that I'm doing very good progress. He actually says that I'm doing better than expected. So the physiotherapist does say it takes usually around 12 weeks at least to heal. And even when you are healed, it doesn't mean that that's it. You just get up and start hopping in the car and doing everything you can, go in the grocery store, lifting things. Things are going to be slow progress from here. You know, probably won't be able to lift things for probably a long time. I do not think I'm going to be going to like car shows this year. I think that's out of the question. I need to make sure I have enough time to heal. The healing process, what I've been doing is I need to walk at least 2 hours a day. But because I have a pinched nerve, I need to look down. So I have to look down to the floor. So I can't technically go outside because I'll walk into a tree. Now, if I had a cell phone in my hand, then I have an excuse, because everybody walks into poles and stuff and they're looking at their cell phone. But I have 2 canes, so I can't exactly be looking at a cell phone, so I have no excuse. So I do that inside the house. Now, my house is not all that big, so to pass the time away, I just put some earbuds in, listen to some rock music with some beat to it. But it gets rather boring, you know, doing that for 2 hours, back and forth, getting almost dizzy. But, you know, it's allowing me to walk. So when the physiotherapist over at the hospital was helping me out, but she did say, you know, like, this is going to take a long time for you to be able to walk and go anywhere without the canes. And I mean, I can't lie, I was depressed. I was, you know, at that point, I couldn't take a walk without the canes. And I'm thinking, honestly, I felt like my life was over. I have never been so depressed in my whole life. I was really, really upset. You come home and you find that you can't do anything. You can't get out of bed. You can't walk anywhere. You can't do anything in your house. You can't clean up, can't do dishes. You can't do anything. And like, I honestly I felt like my life was over. I've never felt that way in my life. That was so, so depressing. And so the weird thing is, when I got home, I think it was that night, I realized that I could actually not really walk, but I didn't really have the pain as much as I did in my shin. And it was like, must have been the medication they gave me. It must have been the shot. Had to be the shot they gave me the night before. And then since then, it hasn't come back. It's like progressively disappeared. Now, physiotherapists who I'm going to now, an actual physiotherapist, they did say that that's showing it's healing. What it does is the nerve goes down to the bottom of your foot. That's why they asked why I had pain in the bottom of my foot. Then it goes to the shin, and then it starts progressively upwards, it's progressively coming upwards, which means it's healing. So I'm just glad I don't have to deal with that excruciating pain in my shin, because that was excruciating. I couldn't sleep, couldn't do anything. All right, guys, thank you for watching. I will give you an update as progress happens. If there's any big reports, I will definitely let you guys know. I do appreciate, I haven't really seen anybody unsubscribe, and I was honestly kind of worried about that because I put so much effort into this channel. So I do appreciate you keeping up with me and being patient. I do have so many things in store, and just this is kind of it's kind of put time back a bit, but I will get better. I have so much hope. And there's been so much people coming to me, messaging me and calling me and everything, and wishing me, great things. And it's compared to when I came out of the hospital and the way I felt, I am so much more better now. My spirits are so much more higher, and I want to thank everybody who's so positive. And yeah, things are going to get better. I predict within a few months that I'll be able to say, hey, I'm walking and things are great. Maybe not perfect where everything is back to normal, but you know what? I have high hopes. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.